Alright guys, so I found a four-wheeler on Facebook Marketplace, a Arctic Cat 400, 2005. I've been looking for a decent four-wheel drive four-wheeler for a while, but it's going to need a lot of TLC right now. I had to drive about 2 hours to get it. So we're going to load it on the trailer. So we got all loaded up, so let's take it back to the house. It's got compression. I guess it started working now. I'm still going to rip it off and just have a little look real quick. Alright, so we are home now, and I dumped it right over there, and the next day I hooked it up to the off-road lawnmower and pulled it to right here and hosed it off right over there so I can work on it because the thing was absolutely disgusting. But one thing I did do is, or me and my brother both, is that we hooked power to the terminals right there. The battery's sitting over there, and I think that's just pretty much junk. And the neutral light does come on. The starter solenoid seems to engage, but I don't think the starter is actually engaging, or the solenoid might be corroded. So I have to have a little look at that. The front headlight did actually work when I cut the key on, and I don't know about all the little other things, but I'm not really worried about all the other little stuff right now. What I'm really concerned about is getting this motor running, because I don't know when the last time it ran, and number one thing that needs to be working. So I'm gonna concentrate on this first. Carburetor right here is stuck, so I ordered a rebuild kit. I'm just gonna rebuild this carburetor. Doesn't look too bad, it just needs some pieces. The intake boot is completely missing, so I'm gonna have to put that on. The front of it looks pretty good. It has that front bar on it. This is actually a factory installed Warn winch, and it's all pretty much complete. And that's a giant oil cooler because the motor is air cooled. And you got your front diff in there with a front differential lock. So we're gonna be trying that out once we get this thing running. This is a large storage trunk right back here. Independent rear suspension, a actual automobile style of trailer hitch mount. But the general frame and everything looks good. The tires seem to hold air after I put some air in them. This is the 5-speed manual with, you know, high and low. See your winch mount right here, starter, your kill switch, and your lights. There was nothing in the fuel tank. It smelled like complete old gas. The brakes don't work whatsoever. I think the floor brakes don't even work too, so we're going to fix that. So the motor is actually a Suzuki 400, single overhead cam, 4 valves for the cylinder, which is pretty crazy. And I soaked the cylinder with Tube Blaster, and it's been kind of working in there with the pole starter, and it seems like it has good compression, but we will see once it cranks up, if it cranks up. So the air filter does look good, but it is pretty much disintegrating as I touch it, so we're gonna have to get a new one of those. So I was kind of browsing Facebook Marketplace trying to find a decent four-wheel drive four-wheeler, and $500 was my limit. And I saw this thing up there for $400. It was about 2 hours away, and yeah, I just kind of could not pass it because it had pretty much all the features I would want on a four-wheeler. And I got the other pieces and parts, like the side sticker and everything right here. I'm gonna have to get a new decal for this side, but yeah, it's pretty much complete. The story goes on this four-wheeler that the owner a long time ago, I think the owner's cousin or something like that, took the carburetor off and tried to do something else with it, and I don't know, couldn't put it back together for some reason, and just decided to leave it outside. And it's been sitting out for years, and the owner finally decided to just get rid of it. However, that does not mean everything else is gonna be perfect. I did look at the oil, and it looked clear, but I think all the sediment, as it's been sitting so long, has been settled to the bottom. So we're gonna have to check that, and the screen up here is pretty much completely gone. I'm gonna have to take this off and see if I can save it by just getting rid of that. If not, then oh well, whatever, I'll just deal with it without a screen. I am actually planning on keeping this four-wheeler for like a long-term four-wheeler if everything checks the box. The plan is with this four-wheeler is to make it back as factory original as possible, that runs and drives perfectly fine, but not spend thousands of dollars. Again, this is a 05 and my 02 Arctic Cat 300. Pretty much everything is a general layout. You know, the brake's still on this side, the throttle's still right here, and the brake's still on that side. The gauge or handlebar cluster right here still looks pretty much the same. The key, just slightly different location. The shifters, same location, and that shifter's in the same location. And the pull starter on this one is in a much better position, because on my 300, the pull starter is under the seat, and you know, it's kind of annoying taking the seat off and pull starting it and flipping a compression release, but this one makes it all nice and easy. So I got intake boot and some other parts coming on Amazon. We don't have ignition, I don't think. I have to check that. I'm gonna pull that plug out in a little bit. So yeah, let's get started. This is gonna be a multiple part series on this four-wheeler here. It's not gonna be all one huge giant video because, you know, I think more parts and specific details would be a lot better to watch than just one giant long video. Ooh, yeah, that's nasty. All right, so I taped off the intake right there. I removed the air box, and now I'm getting the compressor and blowing out around here. So as you can see, I ripped the front dash off, or front dash cover, to expose this so I can get in there and clean that and probably and hopefully repair that. I blew everything out, so everything's a lot better to work on. So next thing I'm going to do is rip the spark plug out. Oh, yeah, that is absolutely disgusting. You can definitely hear the compression. Here is the spark plug gap and all the other specifications. So we just got the plug in there and everything, and there is nothing holding this fuel tank together. The fuel line is disconnected and these bolts just don't exist anymore. They weren't even in there when I got it, so I'm gonna pull this thing out. It'll come out nice and easy. And, ooh, there's a big spider web in there. And clean it out. And here you can see the steering bushing right here. And when I say worn out, I mean worn out. You can't even recognize this thing anymore. Here's a little better look at the shifter. All right, so I had to get these big vice grips, get this stripped out, you know, the Torx 30 bolt out. And yeah, a lot of the parts on this four-wheeler are rusty and everything, and it's gonna all need to be repainted. So that'll be something I will be doing in the future. So for now, the Chinese four-wheeler is going to be the parts bin, because it has this nice little cup right here and it's high up so I can get to everything. I'm just going to clean all the parts up that I get off and set them right here, so when I get ready to reinstall them, it'll be nice and clean. So this fuel tank still has some really old fuel or even water in it. It's about 4.5 gallons. It seems like the same size as my Arctic Cat 300. So yeah, let's go wash it out. So I know you're not really supposed to flush a fuel tank with water, but this is going to be sitting out, you know, for a couple of days drying, so I'm not too concerned about that, and it's pretty cheap to do. I am probably also going to have to buy a new petcock because I ripped it off, and yeah, it's completely corroded and crap. And I turned it left and right with water in it, and it still wouldn't go out, and yeah, it's completely clogged right there. So the pull starter was kind of missing, and it was skipping sometimes when you would pull it. And also this rope is plain disgusting, so I'm just gonna rip the cover off and have a look. All right, so let's hope there's not some spring that's gonna like explode when I pull this thing apart. Oh, yeah. No wonder this rope is dang brown and copper looking color. That's nasty. Yeah, I'm gonna clean this real good. All right, so the pull starter is pretty much clean. I got a lot of crap out of there, but I'm still gonna have to like take this whole unit apart and fully go through it because it still is a bit sticky. I did clean that right there. It's not perfect, but much better than what it was before. So I might take this off and just kind of play with that a little bit and then cover this thing back up with the tarp. All right, so we finally got this screen out of here, finally. That stupid plug wanted to get hung right behind there, and I was bound and determined to get this thing out of here, and guess what? I did. That's the power of determination. So I'm gonna take it inside. I'm gonna try to take this part off and see if I can fix that. What I think happened to this is the UV rays just completely destroyed this screen, and all that's not coming off. But hopefully, maybe the under part of it will still be good. We'll see. Well, I got it as clean as it's going to be. It might not work, but we will see. All right, y'all, so that's probably going to wrap it up for this video, and I just got back from a week-long cruise, so I'm pretty tired. Don't really feel like doing much today, but I did get all the parts ordered on Amazon, about $100 worth of stuff. Luckily, I had a $100 gift card. I did, however, win $80 at roulette in the casino on the cruise ship, and we are going to definitely be using that money for this four-wheeler. So in the next video, we're going to be putting all this stuff on. We're going to be fixing the screen and hopefully trying to get it running and driving. So yeah, you'll just have to wait for the next part to see that. So hope you liked this video. If you did, click all the other buttons on YouTube say to click. If you didn't like this video, click on thumbs down twice, because 2's better than 1. 3 more doesn't work. That doesn't count for likes, as we all know. And y'all should see me in the next one.